Good afternoon all. Today we are going to see file sharing, protection and implementation of file system and directory and free space management. File sharing, we know how you are sending your photos to your parents or to your friends, or how you are sending your assignments to teachers. These all are known as file sharing. So sharing of files on multi-user system is desirable. Sharing may be done through protection scheme. On distributed system, files may be shared across a network. A network file system is a common distributed file sharing method, and file sharing with multiple users there are two types of IDs, user ID and group ID. User ID to identify users, and using that ID only we are allowing permissions and protection to be for the user. And group IDs allow users to be in group and permitting group access right. And the owner and a group ID of a given file are stored with the other file attributes. When user requests an operation on a file, the user ID can be compared with the owner attribute to determine if the requesting user is the owner of the file. Likewise, the group ID can be compared. The result indicates which permissions are applicable. And now we are going to see file sharing on remote file systems. Uses networking to allow file system access between systems. Earlier it was happening with the help of the file transfer protocol. Then it was like a distributed file system. Like in local system you can access different servers. And now we have World Wide Web. And client-server model allows clients to mount a remote file system from servers. The machine containing the files is the server, and the machine seeking access to the file is the client. Server can serve multiple clients. NFS is standard Unix client-server file sharing protocol, and distributed information system such as DNS and LDAP, Active Directory implement unified access to information needed for remote computing. And the next topic is failure modes in file sharing. Like there are different cases of failures, right? Due to network failure or server failure, like that. So recovery from failure can involve state information about status of each remote request. Stateless protocols such as NFS including all information in each request, allowing easy recovery but less security. And next topic is consistency semantics, and consistency semantics is used to represent an important criteria for evaluating any file system that supports file sharing. And these semantics specify how multiple users of a system are to access a shared file simultaneously. In particular, they specify when a modification of data by one user will be observable by other users. These semantics are typically implemented as code with the file system. And next topic is protection. Protection is like who can access your files, who can write to your files, who can modify your files. This is known as protection, right? Like file owner or creator should be able to control what can be done and who all can access or who all can update the file. And there are different types of access: read access, write access, execute access, append access, delete access, list access. These are the different types of access. And here see read, here see owner access means that number will be 7. That indicates read is 1, write is 1, execute is 1. So triple 1 is 7. And group access, suppose it is like this 110. See we are not giving execution access, so it is will be 1106. Public access will be they won't be able to read or write, they can only execute. So here it will be 1. So 001. And one more thing, see, suppose your number is 761. That indicates owner can read, write, execute. Group can only read and write, and public can only execute. And this is simple Unix directory listing. And next is file system structure. We know what is file, right? It is a logical storage unit or collection of related information. And this file system reserved on the secondary storage, and file system organized into layers. And the important topic of file system structure is file control block. It has all information related to that particular file. This is the example, like what are the file permissions and what are the file dates, when it is created and when it is written, all this information, file owner, and what is the size of the file, file data block or pointer to file data block, all information will be there in the file control block. And next topic is file system implementation. To implement file systems, several on disk and in-memory structures are used to implement a file system. Let us see on disk mechanisms. First one is boot control block. Boot control block can contain information needed by a system to boot an operating system from the volume. If the disk does not contain the operating system, this block can be empty. It is typically the first block of volume. And the next one is next mechanism is a volume control block. Contains a volume details such as number of blocks in the partition, size of the block, free block count and free block pointers. All this information will be there. And next one is the directory structure per file system is used to organize the files. Like in UFS, this includes file names and associated inode numbers. In NTFS, it is stored in the master file table. And next one is a per file FCB contain many details about the file, including file permissions, user details, ownership details, what are the file size and location of the data blocks. All information will be there in the FCB. Next one is directory implementation. The first method is linear list. Linear list is easier to implement but time consuming to execute. It is a list of file names with a pointer to the data block. Our next method is hash table. Hash table is like a linear list with the hash data structure. And here searching will be very easy, decrease directory search time, but there will be a chance of collision. In the sense situation where two file names hash to same location, and it always the fixed size. And next topic is allocation method. Allocation method refers to how disk block are allocated for files. There are three types of allocation methods: contiguous allocation method, linked allocation method, indexed allocation method. Contiguous allocation method, see, this is the example. See here, continuously one file is allocated continuously. Here file name is count and start address is 0, length is 2. So 0 to 2 it is 0 to 2, length 2 is assigned. Here file name is tr, start is 14. So from 14 it is started, and how many it is assigned? Length is 3, right? So 14, 15, 16 is assigned. Next one is mail. Mail is starting from 19, and how many it is allotted? 6. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That is contiguous allocation of disk space. And next one is linked allocation. Linked allocation is, see here file name is jeep, start is 9. So here is the pointer to the 9, and from 9 there is a pointer to 13, and from 13 there is a pointer to 16. From there a pointer to 1. From there pointer to 10, like that. That is the linked allocation. And next one is indexed allocation. Indexed allocation, see this is the index block 19, and from in this block it is which all where and all the file is stored is there represented stored in this particular block. So 19th block is this one. So 9, 16, 1, 20, 25. These are the numbers. So from 19 you have one pointer to 9, and you have another pointer to 16, and you have one pointer to 1, and you have one pointer to 10, and you have one pointer to 25. So that is indexed allocation. And next topic is free space management. To implement free space management, one method is bit vector. Bit vector is like this. See, this is the example for bit vector. So each block is represented by 1 bit, and if the block is free it is represented as 1. If the block is not free it is represented as 0. See here, these are the blocks which are free. So 2, right? So 0, 1, 2 is 1. That indicates second block is empty, free. And 3 also 1. 0, 1, 2, 3. That also 1 means that also free. Then 4, 5 also free. So that is bit vector. And next one is linked list. Linked list is linked together all the free disk block, keeping a pointer to the first free block in a special location on the disk and catching it in the memory. And the first block contains a pointer to the next free disk block, and so on. See here, free space list head here. From here to here, from here to here, like that it is pointing to the next free blocks. And free space management, next one is grouping and counting. Grouping is modification of the free list approach is to store the address of n free blocks in the first free blocks, and the first n minus 1 of these blocks are free. The last block contains the address of another n free blocks. And next one is counting. Counting is rather than keeping a list of n free disk address, keep the address of the first free block and the number n of free contiguous block that follow the first block. Each entry in the free space list then consists of a disk address and a count. Although each entry requires more space than would a simple disk address, the overall list will be shorter as long as the count is generally greater than 1. I hope all of you understood this topic. Thank you all.